Well, good day, my ladies and my gents. Happy Sunday in southern Texas. First week of January, first Sunday of January, 2025. 71 degrees outside, cloudy. Got cold front coming through a little bit later today. And so it's, for those of you that are suffering through the cold weather, 71 degrees. Yeah, but hey, we're getting cold here in just another 2 or 3 hours. Temperature's going to start dropping. So yeah, we'll get ours. Don't worry. We're just not going to get the snow yet or the ice yet. Kind of dreading the ice because these idiots down here can't drive in the ice. Just watch Dallas-Fort Worth area. Anytime they get a snowstorm or an ice storm, which is every winter. Fun story there. I was picked up a load after Christmas holidays here a few years ago, and it's been 6-7 years ago, and I had a couple of deliveries up in the Dallas area and needed to head out back east, heading to the general direction of Louisiana, going east on I-20, and I'm right at the 635 loop there on I-20, and it kind of curves around. Any of y'all driven that area, you know kind of what I'm talking about. But it's banked for 65 miles an hour. When you're not doing 65, you lean while you're sitting there. And if it's icy and you're leaning, you slide. Well, I'm sitting there, and traffic, there's been a couple of wrecks. There's people losing traction. It is slick ice. It's the kind you get out there and you do better on ice skates than you will in your shoes. So, but anyway, I'm sitting there and I'm watching, and I'm not to the curve yet. There's been a wreck up there. They're trying to get, guys are stuck, and people are kind of going around a little bit on the outside. They're able to get around, but I don't want to get up there. And I'm watching people, they come to a stop, and of course they're leaning. And I'm watching these people, and they're sliding, crunch. And they get that, they, swap information, and they go on, and things kind of get going, and then here comes a truck. He's leaning. He comes to a stop. And crunch. So, then here, what was it? 2-3 winters ago, over Fort Worth, they have got a pay lane, toll road, center lanes. You got the free lanes and you got the center lanes that are toll. And they had ice storm. People are cruising through there. These idiots are cruising through an ice storm at 65 mile an hour, 70 mile an hour. Dummies. And they had a wreck now that's bounded on either side with Jersey barriers, concrete barriers. Once you get on it, you're not getting off until you get to an exit. And the same problem with the emergency vehicles. They need to get an emergency vehicle in there. Well, they have to come up on the free side of the freeway and park and then go over the wall. Yeah, it's not well thought out. But be that as it may, we wound up with some vehicles crashing and people coming in. By the time they finally got the traffic stopped, they had over 100 vehicles piled into each other. And they weren't just hit, they were piled. And well over 100 vehicles, cars, pickups, big trucks. It was a mess. And but yeah, we'll get ours. I'm dreading it because I don't want the ice. So, onward and forward. Today I am going to talk a little bit about my Ford. I must be thinking that must be what I need to do next as a Ford. But I'm doing the 1960 Chevy Apache pickup. Um, and for what it's worth, it's coming out to be a pretty nice kit. Some of the molded in detail is actually pretty nice. And so it paints up pretty nice. And some of it, though, sucks. It had a 3 on the tree and a little transmission that comes with the kit, of course. But I put in a Muncie 4-speed along with the 283 small block Chevy with the Supercharger. And you can't have a Muncie 4-speed with a 3 on the tree shifter. So I used a VCG bomb shifter. I'll show that off a little bit later in doing so. And tried to figure out wheels. I had ideas for wheels. I was going to use some really cool Pegasus chrome wheels. And they're just a little bit too big for what I want, so I'm going with a set of VCG wheels, and I'll highlight them as well. Yeah, once I had a problem though with the fit of the engine into the engine bay, and I had to do a bunch of trimming there, and that kind of got to the point to where I didn't want to go any further with it because I need to get the engine going before I can do much else. How am I going to do this? So I just basically set it aside for a couple of days. Had a doctor's appointment Friday. Had some other stuff going on and just wasn't feeling that good. And from the fronts going over and everything, and all the different types of weather we've been having, both highs, lows, everything else. So I just put it aside for a couple of days and let my brain just kind of think about it. And yesterday morning I woke up with the whole idea in mind, and I got to work with the file and got it to where it would all fit. And so it's coming along. I got some other little knick-knacky doodads on it and some stories to go along with them. So without further ado, here's the Apache. Kind of what I'm wind up doing is a red trim on a white body. And I wound up with that on the front. And these are really supposed to be black, but hey, I'm doing this. It's a hot rod. It's mine. I don't care what you think. So, but I used the Tamiya clear red on these, and in the little chrome, emblem there. It comes with the kit. Comes with a decal to put there, or in place of. But no. I've got some striping. These are from a Gopher Racing striping set, and you can see on there, I got a little bit there. The stripe goes across, get the bed, and it continues on, and I got a little bit down there, just a little bit. And this, y'all are going to say, what the heck is that? It's a Cinderella slipper. A little bit of a story behind that. Back when I was a kid, back in the early 70s, my mom had a cake shop that she called the Cinderella Shop. And she used her great-grandmother's white cake recipe. Didn't even have any salt in it. Those of you that know anything about baking will go, wait, what? Those of you that don't, if you have a family member that bakes, ask them, do you need salt in a white cake? And they'll tell you flat out, yes. No, you don't. But the cake was very good, and it became very popular. And Mom had more orders really than she could do. So that's just kind of a shout out to the Cinderella Shop. So Mom, love you. Got all that put together, and I'm calling it. See if I can get it up here. The Waambulance. Okay, bad joke, I know, but hey, it's mine. I don't care. I thought it was cute. Went through, did the V8 283 small block, put the supercharger on it. I've got wired spark plug wires. I've got radiator hoses top and bottom. I've got the heater hoses, and those are all, you know, I did as custom. Battery I got from a small dealer. I don't remember which one. But everything else in there is kind of painted up a little bit. Interior, you can kind of see a little bit. I've got tachometer. That's one of Josh's. So I got a bomb shifter inside, and I'm waiting to finish up with the wheels before I put the bed on, because I can't get the wheels on with the bed on, so I'm waiting on that. And the hood, I've got hinges to go on it to mount it, and I'm going to mount it up like this so you can see that beautiful engine. But tires, I have got a set of he calls them classic, what does he call them? Classic Ride Chrome Special. This is the package that they're in from BCG, and this is a staggered set. It's got bigger rear, smaller front. You can see even the wheel size difference. Yeah, good catch. But you can see the difference in the wheel size, and that's going to go like that. And they come with white walls. That I haven't got it, but they snap in, and then of course the wheel sets in. And the only problem with these is that Josh doesn't include any kind of hubcap on them. So I went through my stash and found some Chevy hubcaps that I'm going to put on over the middle, and so that they will, you know, look nice. So I'm gonna have them red with white walls, red trim, white truck. But a little bit more on that, I wound up going underneath. I still need to do the exhaust. I'm going to use some aluminum tube and bend it out. I think I'm just going to take it, make it easy, and just take it, run it, and come right over here. Get my finger out of the way, get my hand. Run right over here, come down, and come out either here or come out right in front of the tires. I'm not sure just quite which yet. But I wound up having to make a new drive shaft, because the one that came in the kit, while it's nice enough, it's too short for what I was doing. So just some aluminum tubing. The U-joints are VCG. Spare tire, one they gave me is just an ugly piece of plastic. So I went into my stash and I found found one from an old Mobius kit, and it just fits up in there real nice. I'm having a bit of fun. I had to carve out some of the firewall and frame and that kind of thing, as well as kind of trim down the headers a little bit, because I couldn't get the engine far enough back so that the fan, get it here where the light can get to it, where the fan could actually fit behind the radiator. Part of it is that extra set of belts for the supercharger. But I had to do a little bit of altering there. But all in all, yesterday morning when I got up, I slept on it for a couple of days because I'd gotten stuck on the engine, and I thought, I really don't like what that wound up doing. And I'm not quite sure how to go about fixing it. So that's how I fixed it. I kind of cogitated on it, let my brain think about it, and didn't push it until my brain, figured out a way to do it, and I went and then, aha! So I went through and fixed it. So, well, that's the Apache that I'm working on. Okay, folks. Well, there is the 1960 Chevy Apache, AMT Chevy. Says it's a level 2. I'd give it closer to a level 3 because of some of the issues that I had with locator pins. Go over that real quick. On the bottom of the interior, it's got 4 locator pins to go into the frame. They're tough to get in place when you just set the interior on the frame. You need to set the interior into the cab before you get it onto the frame. I suppose you could do it. I had a hard time getting everything in place, but I suppose you could mount the interior onto the frame and then manage somehow to get the cab over the interior bucket. Maybe I should have tried that, but I had a real hard time, and I could not, flat out could not get the pins in place with the interior in the cab. Then, so I just finally cut them off. I had to cut them off. And then they had the pins up here in the where the frame meets in. It's kind of hard to see there, but you up under here, where the wheel well meets the frame. Maybe up under, real hard to see when it's all black, but it's up under the header there. I had to wind up spreading the fender wells out to get to where it would meet up with the frame, and then it's just flat. It barely. I had to hold, glue it with CA glue, and then hold it with massive amount of pressure to get it to where it finally set. The back here, let's see if I can get it, where these are to fit here, almost wouldn't fit. I had to really fight with that to get it to go. Got it finally, but it did. It was a struggle. Then you go with the bed, and it's got the locator pins. You can kind of see them here, here, here. Got 6 of them, and they match up with the holes in the frame, of course. But the problem is, you have another locator pin. Get it down here where it focuses on that. Here. Now, grab the bed here. The bed will sit here, like this. That kind of holds the bed flush. I'm just, but the problem is, if you do that on one side, you wind up with that on the other side. You actually have to take, when you're starting to get that done, you have to spread the front of the sides of the bed to get it over those locator pins, and then get it just right to where you've got the locator pins fitting into the frame. You can do that. It lines up very well. The side molding, this part here lines up almost perfectly with what you got here. So it is what it is. It is, you take your time on it, you can get over some of that stuff. Really comes out to be a pretty nice looking pickup, and if you're careful, you can do a lot of modification, a lot of hot rodding to it. But like I said, take your time if you're going to do something like that. You can go straight box stock and come up with a good looking kit. You can go wild, and depending on how wild and how silly you get, you can wind up with a good looking kit or an absolutely ridiculous one. The only way you're really going to get a bad kit, bad build, is if you just go whole sloppy and just basically say, I don't care, and just slop it around. But if you take your time with it, the molded in detail is really pretty nice. So I guess I've rambled long enough today. A quick shout out to my nephews, Zach and Ian. They, I found out from my sister-in-law that my nephews are watching one video a day in order, I guess, I think, maybe. But they're watching. I thought I'd give you a shout out, guys. Thanks a lot. Love you too. Love you guys. Brother, sister-in-law, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Okay, enough rambling from this old man. It'd be Tex signing out.